Hey, what's up guys? Scott Dichotomy here, and today we're going to be talking about what this channel is all about and what the hell is dichotomy. So we're going to talk about my objectives with this channel. We're going to talk about what type of content you can expect to see and what the heck is dichotomy. So let's start with my objective. My objective with this channel is that I'm looking to entertain, inform, and inspire my audience. And I plan to do that with the various types of content that I'm producing. So what can you expect to see on this channel? I'm predominantly a musician first and foremost, so you can expect to see music and then my life as pertaining to music, the type of stuff that I'm doing. I'll be uploading vlogs, sharing my story as a musician and also just me as a person and the things that I've learned and realized throughout life, predominantly from being a musician and the various different avenues I've explored because of that. And actually the way I got into making videos was through my music. Originally, I just wanted experiences to be captured. I wanted music videos to be filmed. So originally I just had a little point and click camera and I would just point it at stuff, or I would set it up somewhere to capture what was going on just to save the memory essentially. So what the heck is dichotomy anyway? It's basically two contrasting ideas, two things that seem almost like kind of polar opposites. And an example I can use, another definition of the word, is lunar dichotomy. So lunar dichotomy is when the moon phase is split between half light and half dark. So when the moon is half lit up and half dark, there's a balance between light and darkness, and that's dichotomy. And that couldn't be more perfect to describe who I am and what this channel is about. Because I, as a person, I have my dark side and I have my light side. My dark side is what pretty much everyone knew me for up until a couple years ago. My dark side is my metal band, Voices of the Dead. It's extreme metal, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, it's gory and morbid and there's blood spraying on stage and there's just body parts everywhere and it's just horrifying and intense and I look angry and psychotic but that's not the extent of who I am. Like, that is a big part of who I am, that is a big part of my artistic expression and I put a lot into that and I express a lot through that. But then I started noticing that like people that know me as Scott from Voices of the Dead and like don't know me as a person just see me as like this angry, psychotic, like intimidating, like wild man. And in direct contrast to that, anyone that knows me outside of Voices of the Dead that doesn't know about my metal band and just knows me for my personality they're often shocked to like, what? That's you? Because I have like white contacts and zombie makeup and stuff. And like, it's funny because if you know me from Voices of the Dead and nothing else, you're shocked to find out who I am as a person. If you know who I am as a person and you don't know about my metal band, you're shocked to find out about the metal band. And so that's essentially where dichotomy came from. I was trying to figure out like, I have this other side to me to present and like the metal thing is really horrifying, offensive, it's really niche. There's like, I have fans and a following, but like it's a very specific type of person. And with dichotomy, I have a bunch of other stuff to offer. And when I started getting these like professional video gigs, the people that hired me at the time, I thought would be horrified by my Voice of the Dead side and by that side of my persona. And so I essentially started thinking like, if I'm trying to get professional video work and all I have to share for videos are predominantly like crazy, offensive, horrifying death metal that like my parents don't even want to look at like or even think about. And so like, and I don't want that to be my first impression. So like, if say someone's trying to hire me for some kind of gig that's like just like a normal thing, like normal people, whatever the hell the word normal means, but I didn't want to scare people off. Like, I have this crazy horrifying side and like that's kind of putting a mirror against society and being like, these are the messed up parts of society. Like, that's not the messed up parts of me. That's the dark side of me though, my aggression, my intensity, my passion, those things are kind of like channeled through there and I look angry and I yell and stuff, but that's in the microphone and it's all cathartic basically. So that essentially allows me to not be like that in everyday life. It allows me to just be really chill and calm so I can express myself and get all that dark crap out of there. And so I was searching for a username when I was coming up with this stuff because coupled with my video work, I also started doing more like laid-back music, because where the laid-back music came from is that when I first started writing guitar and vocals and writing full songs and all the instruments and stuff, I started maybe when I was like 18 or something like that, and the type of music I was writing was a lot more chill. Like, it ranged anywhere from like kind of calm, mellow songs up to almost death metal. Not anywhere near death metal, more like kind of like metal, like Metallica type stuff. And then from there, it's just something happened, and I just changed over the course of a few years and just went way more extreme and kind of abandoned all like singing. I was clean singing and stuff, and then I abandoned that for screaming and just Voices of the Dead. For whatever reason, for most of my 20s, that was where I was at. That was my passion, my heart and soul. But then when we were on tour with Voices of the Dead, one of my guitarists brought an acoustic guitar on tour with us. And I just kind of started learning about busking, like playing guitar and singing for tips. Plus, I grew up in the Boston area, and in the Boston Public Garden, it's always been a place where you're legally able to go sit down, play music, and get tips. Some dudes do balloon animals and I think maybe face painting and stuff. It's really cool. It's like the equivalent of New York Central Park, except much smaller, essentially. I remember as a kid always walking by, and the street musicians always caught my attention, and my mom would always give me $1 or $2 to like throw in their thing. So I just remember reflecting on all this, and when we were on tour, my friend had the acoustic guitar, and I forget whose idea it was, but like, let's go play. We would stay at rest stops because we have a school bus RV. That's a whole other story. 40-foot school bus RV. You can check that out. I'll make a video about that at some point. And so we would get gas at rest stops, and then we park at rest stops and sleep in the bus and then go on to the next gig. So then we'd get up in the morning and we started experimenting, taking the acoustic guitar and some of my tribal drums that I happen to have, and we'd go sit at the rest stop and just sing and play guitar off the top of our heads, basically. Like,
wake up, we have entered the rest stop. Wait, sorry.
Like, we were a metal band. This wasn't rehearsed. I didn't even play this type of music. I didn't even sing anymore. Like, I sang briefly when I was like 18, 19, something like that. And I was predominantly just a death metal singer. I could sing, I guess, but so like I'm playing guitar, singing about like vegan burgers, and we need money and stuff.
Give me some vegan burgers. I'm vegan, but I like to eat too.
And it sounded terrible, to be perfectly honest. Like, we were all out of time. I don't know if everyone else was nervous or just not taking it seriously, or I don't know what the deal was, but like, it kind of sounded bad. It was kind of all over the place. We were singing random stuff. I was just like making up lyrics off the top of my head, which I wasn't really good at the time. I want the money, give us some food, give us some weed, money, we need money. And we're just playing basic stuff, but even still, people were throwing tips in the guitar case and stuff, especially tourists. Like, Asian tourists, I noticed, or just tourists in anywhere, just absolutely loved it. It's like they're getting a flavor of America or something, I don't know. And so then that just got me thinking. I was like, wait a minute, if this sounds terrible and there's still people throwing us some tips, like maybe this is a way to actually like help make some money on tour. Because most bands, underground bands, don't really make money on tour. You're lucky if you break even, and that's where we're at with Voices of the Dead, is that we're at the point where we can basically break even on tour, which to me is a huge success. So if we can busk a little bit and actually make a few extra bucks so we can buy a sandwich or something, or put some more gas in the bus. So then I was like, wait a minute, maybe if I learn some actual songs, like my Scott Dichotomy stuff, which was the stuff that I started before Voices of the Dead, some of that would work acoustic, and I like some stuff that's like could work acoustically.
Ain't found a way to kill me yet.
And I know that that's what most people prefer, and that I was actually against that for a while. Like, I thought it was cheating to just write really simple, basic music that everyone likes. I took the hard route. I wrote what came from my heart, which was not that originally. It is now. That stuff does come from me now. But I started Scott Dichotomy almost to kind of just like prove a point. Like, pop songs are so easy, and like they just all copy each other, and there's a formula, and then it's like everyone likes it, and you put no time or effort, and you get tons of fans and money. And metal, it's like you put in tons of effort and time and not that many fans or money, or not much money either. And so I was like, all right, watch this, watch. I'll just make up the most basic, simple pop song I can make up, and you're all gonna love it, watch. And that's exactly what happened. My following for Voice of the Dead that I had for 10 years, the numbers Scotch Economy started catching up like the second I started it, basically. And then I was like, all right, so maybe I'm onto something here. And then it's just kind of developed over time. And then what really was the final solidifying piece of the whole Scotch Economy project was I started working for Uber. I drove Uber 50 hours a week in Boston for 2 years hard, and then like the third year is kind of like intermittent because I was starting to get really burnt out at this point. Boston, if you don't know, is one of the most chaotic, hectic cities to drive in. Everyone is a jerk and is just totally inconsiderate and just drives like maniacs and very rude and aggressive and honking horns, and it's super stressful. So 50 hours a week for 3 years. And at the time, this is when I still just had Voices of the Dead. I had just come off that tour where I'd done busking, so like I had tried it, but it still wasn't something I was doing. And then, so I would drive on average maybe 100 people a week or something like that, and I'm really good at talking and telling stories. I have lots of stories as a musician. There were so many Uber passengers that by the end of the ride, like I would talk and share stories, and like so many people would be like, oh my god, you were so entertaining, I forgot it was even a car, it just made the ride go by so fast, best Uber driver ever. I have all kinds of ratings I can even share actually with all these comments people left. And then at the time I just had Voices of the Dead on social media, which was horrifying and offensive to even people that are into metal are horrified and offended by what I do sometimes. And so by the end, after being all my friendly social self, and a lot of people would be like, oh, I'd love to follow you on social media. Can I have your social media account? And I'd be like, no, you probably don't want to do that. Like if you were to follow me on social media, you're not gonna get what you just got in this car. You're gonna get offended horribly. And and that happened a lot, like over and over and over again. And everything with music is networking and getting yourself out there, and luck, I guess, too. But so I started noticing like I was really missing out on some opportunities to network and gain new fans, because it was like hundreds of people. And so I was starting to realize like, okay, so my personality is more marketable than my metal bands. Okay, that kind of sucks, but at the same time, if I can market myself just with my personality, all right, I'll try that. So that's where the Scotch Economy project came from. So everything I do came from that, and I started just kind of like going that direction and trying to feel my way through it and figure out how I can present the side of me that is essentially mainstream friendly and family friendly. So that's what Scotch Economy is. It's my light side. It's me sharing everything outside of anything Voices of the Dead, horrifying, offensive, 18+ type stuff. Because that's who I am as a person. I'm a very calm, laid back, compassionate, positive, social person. I'm whole foods, plant-based diet, and I don't even kill animals. I don't want animals to be killed for my food. I don't even kill bugs. Like if I find a spider in my house, I usually catch it and bring it outside, and everyone thinks I'm a weirdo for that. But so yeah, I guess that's Scotch Dichotomy in a nutshell. So in closing, you can expect to see vlogs from me and me just sharing my life and my thoughts and my music career, and that's it. And then, you know, music videos and music and me performing live and talking about music and all the different stuff I use to create music. And then I want to try and teach everyone how to be the happiest, healthiest version of themselves. So again, I'm hoping that I can entertain, inform, and inspire all of you. And if this all sounds good to you and you haven't already, I would thoroughly appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button on my channel, hit that little bell to make sure you get notifications whenever I upload, because this has been kind of an intermittent thing over the last few years, but I'm gonna start putting out videos regularly, at least once a month, maybe twice a month, and I'm gonna shoot for once a week, ideally. I'm gonna be going live at least once a month, maybe even once a week on here. So if you could come tune in and share the videos, like them, comment on them, I would appreciate all of that so much. Yeah, I think that's it for now. So if you like what you see, then I don't know, go peruse the rest of my channel. I have a couple other cool videos up, and then I'm really looking forward to sharing the rest of the videos that I'm about to create and the life that I'm creating right now. And I'm really happy to have you guys along for the ride. So have a good day, everybody, and I will catch you later.
There's a night when everything's going right.